Well, what I love about Love 'em and Leave 'em is that my son's only been in daycare for 3 weeks, and I can already tell that he's developing well in his learning skills, his basic motor skills.
My experience here has been phenomenal. My two cousins were previous attendants at the school, so this school came with good recommendations from them. And my son's been here ever since he was 9 weeks old, and now he's 3 years old, and he is on a kindergarten level with recognizing letters, numbers, shapes, and he could actually make complete sentences. So this place has been very beneficial, and it's like family, and we love it here. Well, ever since my daughter Kamaria has been attending Love 'em and Leave 'em, I've noticed a big change in her. She does praise and worship at home. She says her grace. Matter of fact, we all have to say grace together as a family. She loves coming to school. Even on the snow days, she got mad because there was no school. It's just a joy that I can bring my daughter here and know that she's in good hands.
I love 'em and leave 'em. My son's been here almost a year. When he first started, I think it took about 2 or 3 weeks, and they got him potty trained. No more diapers, no more pull-ups, anything. His teacher is very patient with him. And they also give you the goal for your child. This is where we want to be at by this time frame. So that way, not only you as a parent is working with them, but also you know what they're learning in class as well. So it's a great place, and I definitely recommend it.
I love 'em and Leave 'em because they are so sweet to the kids and so loving, and you can tell that they're genuinely care about the children. They're not here just to make money. They actually do care. All three of my children have went here from when they were young. My youngest is 10, and he went here from the beginning, even to where my grandbaby now, he goes here. I wouldn't take my children any other place. You can tell that they actually do care about the kids, and they're here to help them to learn. My child went to kindergarten. He was the only one in his class who knew how to spell his name before he even got there. And it's just been a wonderful experience. I definitely would recommend this place to anybody that has any children at all. So the name speaks for itself. They do love the children.
We've been here since Jeremiah was, I want to say, almost a year. We've had nothing but great times here. Anyone who's interested in having their child here at a great facility, a Christian-based facility, always a loving family atmosphere, this is the place to be. Love 'em and leave 'em.
I love this place. The curriculum is good. My son learns a whole lot. He's counting. He can say his ABCs, all on his own. I don't have to help him with it. And he's 2. They potty train, which has been a tremendous help since I'm the only parent at home. Their hours are great. The pay is great for everything they offer. It's actually pretty cheap.
I love 'em and leave 'em because my baby grew up with y'all, so I feel like y'all are family. He learned so much stuff. He's only 2 and he already knows his ABCs. He knows so much. His ABCs, his months. He can count in Spanish. It just surprises me how much, y'all care for the children. Well, I love 'em and leave 'em because my daughter, she's very smart. She learned how to write her name. She's very intelligent. She's disciplined. She has friends, and it's like she's going to as she say, big kid school.
I am a special education team leader with Plano ISD. I've been in education for 16 years, and when we began looking for daycares, it was very important to find somewhere that they would teach and not just babysit. This year, when he went to his 3-year wellness visit with his pediatrician, and she did the screening, she was very impressed. She said a lot of the things that he's doing are things that a 5-year-old would typically do. And I explained to her where he was attending, and she just prayed. She said, well, he's doing great. She even said, well, he's not going to be able to attend a regular kindergarten class because he's already a year and a half or so ahead of where he should be. Okay, they truly care about him. His infant teacher was changing his clothes all the time. His 1-year-old teacher became his second mom, where, you know, he would cry for her when I would leave with him to try to take him home. He wanted to stay. So I truly feel like at the end of the day, they care about him just as much as I do. So I don't have concern now working an hour away from where he is. I feel like if something were to happen, that he would be taken care of until I get here. So I would tell anybody that it's a family knit in that they do homework. They do homework. Just last night, I had him sit at a table to start on his homework while I sat in the chair and start on my homework and said, hey, we're gonna have school. So I like that he has homework. He now has a routine. And so this is all part of being somewhere where routines are important. So I love it.
Hi, my name's Adriana, and I've been with Love 'em and Leave 'em for 7 years now. My second child is now 2, and my first one, it's been a couple of years since he's been here, but he still talks about it. He still talks about the teachers. He wants to come visit every time any chance he gets. He definitely still considers this place, his second home. She knows a 2. She already knows her ABCs, her shapes, her colors. She has grown a lot, and she started here when she was 3 months. So you can definitely tell staff here, her teachers love her love all the kids as much as if they would love their own kids. But I think the main thing I love about this daycare is just like the emphasis on the education and preparing your kids to really grow and develop and just be ready for when they start school. And you can tell that with my older kid, who's constantly on honor roll. The love and all the different activities, the learning, the playing, I think is definitely different than in a lot of other daycares. It's just a gem in the community is definitely different. And if I have any more kids, I definitely want to make sure they keep coming to Love 'em and Leave 'em. I think it's good because not only are you away from your kids most of the day because you're working, but I think at least a homework is just your chance to interact with your kid, to learn and to see what they're actually doing in class. And I really think, again, routine is definitely important for kids. And I do see the difference when they go to school. They know a lot of things that most other kids that did not go to daycare or may have stayed at home, they don't know. So they're definitely ahead of the game. Even when my son comes here and visits, the teachers are still excited to see him, still want to know how he is, and still want to support him, even though he's like 8 going on 9. So I think that's definitely rare. I recently did not know that my daughter could say certain phrases and/or that she at 2 can. She knows her ABCs, but again, she can. Recognize the letters, not in order. If you just write out, hey, what letter is this? And it's a D, she knows that it's the letter D. And I think that surprised me. I didn't know that.
When I first heard of Love 'em and Leave 'em, I kind of thought, Love 'em and Leave 'em? Like, the name to me just wasn't the ordinary name that you would hear for a daycare. And the very first day I dropped my daughter off to daycare, she didn't cry. She didn't look to me as if, why are you leaving me? This would be the third daycare since she has been alive. And the first 2 wasn't a very pleasant experience, but I was so relieved that very first day I left her and she was just so at ease. I picked her up and she wasn't running to me like she was relieved to leave. And that made me feel good. It made me feel like we have a home. People see my daughter and she's tall for her age and they hear her speak. And when they hear her speak, they're like, how old is she again? And I'm like, she's only 3, she'll be 4 in, however many months it is at the time. And when they hear what she knows, they're blown away. And I say, you know what? Is your child in school, in daycare? And they'll be like, yeah. I was like, well, you should switch to Love 'em and Leave 'em. I kid you not, every single time someone hears her, and she doesn't talk on a level as if she's a 3-year-old. She talks as if she's been in kindergarten, 1st grade. And that makes me feel good to know that she's not just being dropped off and watched. She's actually learning. We don't refer to it as daycare because when I think of daycare, I think of your kids dropped off, they're playing all day. She's at the point to where she's learning now how a school setting is going to be. So it's structure. We were playing school and she started saying her planets. And I'm like, at 3? You know your planets? And so that really just blew me away. Like, I can't even remember when I was in school at what grade level I learned my planets. And she just recited the planets. The fact that I could pick out a color and she could tell me in Spanish the color, the number, in English and in Spanish. And I'm just blown away that she's 3 and she knows these things. When you walk in Love 'em and Leave 'em, you feel like you're walking into family. Like, I kid you not, it's such a warm feeling. And to know the kids, the teachers in other classroom knows every kid in the place, can call them out by name. That lets me know that it's really more of a connection as far as family and loving them versus I'm just here to teach, I'm just here to get a check. Most places you see where there's a uniform and it's a logo and all the kids are kind of uniformed together, you think of charter school, you think of private school, you don't think of a daycare. And that's kind of the thought that you have, or you should have, going into Love 'em and Leave 'em when your child is enrolled. It's not a daycare, it's more on a level of a charter school.